Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour. And if you can see, we got a little Kevin sitting in here. He's not traveling right now.
Came back from Alberta, eh?
Hey. Yeah, you got a new badge when you're up there on tap. Something we're never going to get. What was it? North of the border?
Yeah, different countries. And I got a bunch of badges. Absolutely.
Wow. Little fucker. Dave, what's going on with you, man?
Wow, I didn't get any badges.
You don't need no stinking badges.
No stinking badges. So what did you get? What did you get? What badge you get?
Something north of the border.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Oh, okay. You have so many badges, you don't remember.
Drinking in multiple countries.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Yeah. Rub it in. We don't even leave the road here. We're here all the time.
Same
you
way.
don't even bring any beer back for us. You know.
I fertilize you.
What?
I'll fertilize you.
Yeah.
Give me a few beers.
We don't want recycled beer.
I don't want to hear that.
Anyways, hey, don't forget to look us up where all you get your audio podcasts at Central PA Pour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check it out. We have a merch store going, and I'm rocking a T-shirt from our merch store, so give us a look on that. You can follow that all on our link tree. Yes, the one with the swing in their limbs. So make sure you follow us and give us a like and share. That's what we're after, and that's how we do this. So we do have some more guests sitting in studio with us, and we are happy to have them in here. And we're going to let them introduce themselves to the Central PA Pour. Welcome, gentlemen and ladies, to the Central PA Pour. Who are we sitting here with?
Well, I'm Jeff Neighbors, and I'm one of the founders of Hell in a Bucket Brewing. We're in Wrightsville, PA, and we are purveyors of fine ales and Galenical decoctions.
Galenical concoction. Boy, that's a new one I got to put in my vocabulary. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Galenical decoctions.
Yeah. And who else we got sitting here?
Well, I'm Brian, and I help Jeff brew and stuff. I started out just bartending there and liked the vibe because, first I was drinking there and needed someone to bartend on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I said, well, I'll do that. And then I noticed, he could use some help in brewing, and I'd like to learn. So he took me under his wing, and now working a lot of doing brewing and still bartending and hosting music there. And my band plays there and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Vibe supplier.
Wow. And who else we got sitting here? This pretty young lady.
And I'm Natalie, and I bartend and talk to the people.
Sell the product.
Yeah.
There we go. So you mentioned something about the vibe. Did the vibe change the more you drank, Brian?
Sometimes, but it's always a good positive one because we roll in the spirit of the Grateful Dead. It's a themed brewery. And so that kind of spirit kind of permeates the vibe a lot. You know, everyone's really cool there, and we have a lot of fun, and there's always good music.
That's cool. So, Jeff, you said this is you're a co-founder, and this was your idea.
Yeah, I'm a co-founder. My partner Matt Zornig, which means the angry one in German, Zornig. It's good stuff. He couldn't make it today, but it's interesting. I'd brewed for a long time as a home brewer, and then since I was in undergrad in college, and he moved out here, and he came out to visit me. We met in Iowa City, Iowa, which is where I went to school and had been working, and I moved out here to take a job, my full-time job, which I still have and love. And he came out after his dad died, and we were like, all right, let's start a brewery. This will be fun. And so we did, and we're having fun with it. It's a interesting thing to do. I took a bunch of homebrew recipes and we brewed them a lot on weekends and tried to figure it out. And Matt hadn't brewed a lot, but he did a few times with me, and he said, it's cool. And recently, I got Brian to help brew, and I've got the best staff in the world, the best bartender on earth.
There
bar
we go.
manager.
Look at
She's
that.
incredible.
Kudos.
Incredible. Both of these guys are incredible. It's just lucky that I have found them.
Well, and where did the name derive from? Hell in a Bucket.
Hell in a Bucket is the name of a Grateful Dead song. It's on the album In the Dark. I think.
I think
I'm not a big album listener, but saw a lot of shows. And it was one of our. We kind of just struck on it when we were first kind of talking about it, and it stuck. It seemed like a good name because it works on a lot of levels, right? You're going to hell in a bucket.
Yep.
Could be a bucket of beer, could be whatever. And we name all of our beers basically after songs, and it's a font of names. You don't have to think
I
that hard.
did notice that.
Yeah.
And the time that I had stopped in when I first stopped in there on my way home and got to talk to you guys to get you on the podcast for one and to try your product, there was a vibe about that place. And I couldn't put two and two together until I got your guest forms and read and saw your pictures on your social that you guys are hippies. You are not 2020 hippies living. You know, I mean, it's cool. It is. You'd mentioned it, Brian. It's a vibe when you walk in there.
Yeah, it's a nice it's a nice vibe. Excuse me, my throat's a little off from the smoke out there. It's annoying.
Yeah.
That'll date when the show's happening. But the vibe that we've got going, I think, is really great. And I think that, the songs, again, it's easy to name the beers, relatively easy, because there's so many different weird like twists of term and stuff, like hazy lightning, Grateful Dead song. And so, the hazy, it's fun to do it.
We haven't been in trouble in a while, so we ought to do an intro. Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We might get some copyright infringement shit that we've had before.
Yeah, just when we need another flag.
No one's ever yelled at us yet about it. So.
Oh, okay.
So you could pull something off of YouTube, or like some other band playing a Dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, like some underground jam band probably wouldn't care.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a cool thing, and like you said, I mean, you're following a passion that you love. You got a group and song in an era that you love, so it made things easy for you to come up with a name, come up with what you want to do. I think it's awesome. It's an awesome story, and I think we've all said this with every guest we've interviewed. Every story is unique, and that's what this industry is about. It's a uniqueness, and everybody's different.
Yeah, definitely. And and as a brewer who interacts with other brewers a lot, I mean, you get that. You really get a feel for it. I mean, we work pretty closely with Mike at Mooduk, the brewer of Mooduk, and
Yep.
and their story is really interesting, and it's I mean, what is a Mooduk exactly?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
You have to watch the episode.
We went through that.
Right. Yeah, that was funny, and and I think I put that on there on his title for the thumbnail was you have to watch to understand or whatever, but. So I think it's cool. Yeah, and
is it okay to drink beer?
Well, we're going to get there. We'll get there very soon. Very soon.
We got plenty to go to, so we'll go soon.
I just want to touch on how Natalie became into this picture. Were you a patron as well?
No, actually, I've bartended for many years. I bartended in New York. I bartended in Boston. And then during COVID, that's when I moved to Pennsylvania. My mom was living out here. And after working for UPS for a while, I kind of wanted to get back into bartending. So I somehow found this on my Facebook feed. It was like a job listing, and I applied. So that's how I ended up here.
Oh, that's cool. And do you like it?
I love it.
You love it?
Absolutely love it. Yeah. Best bartending job I've had so far.
Now you say you bartended in New York. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you are currently in Dover, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We have a whole stoplight here, but
No, we got 5 of them going down a quarter-mile strip.
but that's not in the borough. That's in. But anyway, it's just kind of curious. Is it like the Wild West bartending in New York?
It's definitely different. I mean, it's a change of pace. But I think like what I lose in like hecticness in New York, I sort of gain in like, for me, it's sort of like more on what I gain in like a one-on-one, and like it doesn't need to be like super hectic all the time. So I enjoy it. I'm sort of here for the people and their stories. I studied creative writing, so like reading has always appealed to me, and talking to people and learning about them and where they come from, and I feel like I'm able to do that here. Which is really cool. So cool. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, it sounds good. I've been to New York a few times, and unfortunately I was driving at the time, but the traffic up there is just outstanding.
So Brian, you came into this because you were a patron, and how did Jeff invite you, or did you approach Jeff and say, hey man, I want to learn how to make beer?
Yeah, I approached him because I was bartending and weekends at a different place, Wrightsville Inn. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was just a couple blocks down. So I would come to Hell in a Bucket afterwards, and was really enjoying the beer and the vibe. And then I would play the open mic night and everything. And it's like, then, you know, like I said, you know, eventually I ended up bartending Tuesday and Wednesday, and I was like, man, I'd really like to like work here exclusively and not the other place. So, and then kind of noticed that, you know, like with his work, you know, as, you know, an oncologist, you know, in Hershey, is that right? I don't know.
I wouldn't call myself an oncologist. I'm an associate professor of pharmacology and medicine.
Oh, I feel fucking
So,
stupid
you know,
in
already.
State College of Medicine.
He's dealing with some heavy stuff.
And just so I get this out right now, this you know, nothing I say here in any way should be construed to be part of the Penn State message or part of the College of Medicine or Cancer Institute message.
It's just this is just we just put that in the disclaimer fact. So
But yeah, and I am busy. So I was brewing on Saturdays, and I would be in there at 7 a.m. You know, brewing, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's hard, but it was physically hard, and you know, and there's things I wanted to be able to do that I couldn't do. You know, like spend time bottling, spend time thinking about the, you know, different pieces to the puzzle and how to expand things, and you know, it's always great. You know, Brian comes in, and I, you know, right away realized there were, you know, is like, well, let's take that bump apart. You know, and I'm like, yeah.
hey, Brian, there's a mash tun that needs raked out.
Yeah, exactly. And clean the fermenter.
And you know what? Like, I don't know. I've always, you know, been into beer. I've, you know, really enjoying what the product that they had going and everything. And so I was like, hey, man, like maybe I should learn how to do this if it would help Jeff. And then, so yeah, I talked to him about it. He was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And it's been awesome. Man.
Oh, that's great.
It's really
So
cool.
It's natural.
speaking of beer, I know Jeff's pretty anxious.
Jeff's ready.
So what is going to be our first? I'm going to say Grateful Dead beer.
This is New Potato Caboose, which is named after a song that Phil Lesh wrote that's on Anthem of the Sun. And it's a hazy IPA, New England style IPA. It's not super crazy hazy.
No.
Yeah. Cascade and it's hopped in the boil with Cascade and Centennial. So a lot of New Englands don't do any boil hop. I like it. I like to have a little bitterness in there. And then Cryo Simcoe and Amarillo dry hop. So
Cheers.
Cheers.
New Potato
New Potato Caboose. Yeah.
Caboose. I am getting the aroma out of the hop.
Yeah, the cryo hop. It's got nice flavors. I really like the
pretty good.
Citra and Amarillo.
I'm not an IPA guy, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not overbearing.
No, it's not.
A little dank at the very end. Is that what you guys are going? Is that where that boil hop of the cryo?
Yeah,
comes
just
in?
a little bit of dankness, a little bit of bitter.
Yeah, it's not overly bitter at all.
No,
Oh.
yeah. Well, I didn't want it to be over.
Yeah, it's
super
a hazy.
bitter.
It's a hazy.
Yeah, it's hazy-ish. Yeah.
It's not a West Coast.
Right. We have a West Coast, but we didn't have it on, and it's actually our most popular beer. We have it in the firm right now. It's just about done. So called August West Coast, and I do that one with Citra and Mosaic.
I'd say it also has like the same vibe too, is that a lot of the IPAs that we do, we get that a lot. Like, you know, I'm an IPA guy, but you know, it's smooth, you know, we don't like, I don't know. You have someone that's just in your face hops, you know,
Yeah.
but I think Jeff has a good formula for making them pretty smooth.
And that's funny. I mean, if you're the people that still drink, you know, the Bud Lights, the Millers, and that stuff out there, craft beer, oh, it's all hop. I don't like. Not every
not.
craft beer is hoppy. They just assume an IPA it's the only craft beer out there, and there's a variety of it. It's just that misconception.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a total misconception, and people get the feel that hops is super bitter or that it's like so grassy because if you give someone who's not really who's not a craft beer drinker, you know, something that's like a super hazy, you know,
Juicy,
8 pounds a barrel, you know, I mean, it's going to be, you know, the burns your throat hoppy, you know, people aren't going to like that unless that's what they like.
Right. And that takes a special breed. I mean, there are people that like that.
Oh,
stuff.
definitely.
We've had some hoppy stuff out there, and you know, I was never a huge IPA fan. Dave loves IPAs, by the way.
Yeah, I like Penn State too.
Winning.
I love it.
But my palate has changed. I will try everything under the sun. Yeah. And I'm not going to say it. And you guys do Untapped, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
we
do.
hear
Yeah,
good and bad
we do.
about the Untapped from your guys' side. From us, it was just a way for us to personally score our beers, and
Just keep track of.
keep track of them.
Yeah, I just keep track anymore. I don't score them anymore. And the reason I don't is because I go into someone's place in like North Dakota, for example, and I'm sitting there and I'm going to judge their beer and call it a 4. And then I get mad when people put something on mine as like a 3.5. I'm like, no, I can't.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. Like, it's good. It's okay.
And that's where I was going with that. If we do rate one, 3.5 is my lowest. So, or 3.25 is my lowest. 5, it's got to be a wow beer for me. And I've rated 2 beers recently 5.0s. One was from Trace. One I thought was a 5.0, and you guys didn't think it was. But that's everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
But if we do rate one a little lower, I'm going to say, look, hey, this isn't a bad beer. It's just not my style, and it wasn't what I was looking for. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense.
Just like it's like a Google review for any business, You want the honesty, but you don't want it to be bashing you.
Right.
So, I didn't want to get into the Untapped because I know there's mixed emotions about Untapped with brewers and craft pubs and all that stuff. And
We use it. We use it on our board. We keep it up there. We pay attention. I'll go through and look every once in a while, and it's all. Sometimes people will actually leave notes, and it's like, oh, that's cool. They like, they like this, but. I don't. And if someone leaves me a bad rating, I just let it go. It's not a big deal to me. I mean,
what matters to you is when the kegs kicked and the money's rolling in, and they want it again. That's what matters to you.
Right. We want to. We definitely. We want to have the money flowing in. I want to be able to keep these guys employed, and again, best crew on earth.
Are they your only 2 employees?
They're my only 2. Yeah, they're our only 2 employees.
Oh,
and
look at that.
Yeah, they can make it work, and it's awesome. So and I look at myself in general as that's the thing I think that I like to do is mentor people.
And that's what I was going to ask you next. I mean, with Brian coming in, you're training the next generation.
Absolutely, and I look forward to seeing the beers that he designs and brews, and it's cool. And I'm happy with being the assistant brewer, to tell you the truth. I mean, and so it's great to have him in there doing that.
You're a business owner looking to become not an entirely absentee owner, but a somewhat absentee owner, and let the staff run the business.
Yeah, eventually I'll retire from my day job, and I'll just like put her around in there and make interesting beers and change things and do stuff.
But yeah, and in my business, I'm in the auto repair. Today was the first day I had an apprentice come in. He just graduated high school. So I'm giving him a chance on a 60 days. So I'm trying, and it's the same thing. I'm here to educate and train you so you can expand your skill set to move on and get better. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm here for. And in my industry, the automotive repair, that next generation is not there right now. So anytime I can help that, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that's a business. It's a business owner. You're thinking the same way. You train the next people to keep moving on and learning.
Yeah, and that's what I do in general. I mean, I have several students that I teach, and they're all PhD students, and so it's about learning to write and learning to do experiments and helping them craft experiments in a way that makes sense, and
So you're a professor. So you're teaching at a school or at a hospital or?
So my office is in the Cancer Institute at Penn State College of Medicine. I don't teach much. I teach a class on cancer metabolism, which is a 1-credit class every year. Mostly what I do is help teach students and how to, like PhD students, how to think about experiments and how to reason through things and write. I write a lot, do a lot of grant writing and a lot of writing of papers.
Cool.
I think we had 6 papers published this year, working on
Nice.
7 and 8 right now. Yeah.
I feel stupid.
Nah. It takes all of us to make life work, man.
He's not really good at spelling, if that helps you.
I'm not. I'm bad at spelling.
So am I.
Yeah.
I rely on the strength of the people around me everywhere I go. I mean, it's what you do, right?
Yeah.
And you bring people together.
Yeah. What you lack in, you're supposed to find somebody that can help build that side up. That's any partnership, any business, any relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
You work on your strengths and weaknesses. That's how you build.
Yep.
So, Brian, you do other stuff as well. You said about.
So
One thing that caught me on your thing was I liked this place because I didn't have to listen to trash music. What did that mean?
oh no, it's great. So did you ever be like, I don't know, every other place in the world, and it's like, Wagon Wheel, and what's another good example? Like, I don't know, just songs.
So you
hear all
don't
the
like
time.
Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson?
Well, no. Here's the thing. No, I love that.
I do.
I just don't like the same stuff you hear everywhere.
And over
you
and
know?
over again.
Over and over
Yeah.
again. I don't know. I was in a store last night, and I was just like, "Oh man, same music is everywhere." I'm so glad that where I work, we can listen to the Grateful Dead or like Fish or Bob Dylan or Tom Waits. Like stuff that not everybody's listening to, and I think that attracts a certain vibe of person too.
I was going to say,
Especially,
you're young for that genre of music. You're
Yeah.
young.
I got into like playing guitar and stuff when I was like 11, 12 years old. And like just the stuff that was on at the time was just not doing it for me. So then I was going into like classic rock, like Jimi Hendrix and like the Guitar Gods and stuff like that. And then that led me to like, the Grateful Dead and Fish and like improvisational kind of jam music that is like, more off the cuff and spontaneous than just the same thing all the time.
That was
you
pretty
know,
cool.
so.
And that's your band. Your band plays there, right?
So yeah, my
it is.
band, we'll plug them. New World Otters.
New World. I saw that New World Otter.
New
you
World
know?
Otters, yeah, and we play there almost like once a month now or something, and then but also I host the open mic on Thursdays, which is really cool because there's a lot of great musicians that come in there, and we all kind of like interjam together.
Oh, that's what I love.
Yeah,
I
the
love
Grateful Dead like theme like inspires I think everyone to be a little more spontaneous than they would in a different setting, So people really enjoy our like open mic night, and then we get pretty good people on Saturdays that we just book, and stuff. Usually just smaller acoustic acts, but sometimes a band.
Yeah, on your open mic night, do you just say anybody want to play?
Pretty
Or-
much, yeah. We just put a list out there, and people sign up in order. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, usually a lot of open mics is just like, all right, now it's this person's turn, or this person's next. But here it's almost like, all right, this guy's up. And then they might be like, oh, hey, do you want to play guitar with me? Or just, hey, come play bass. Do you guys know this song? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we'll jam. And it's like a very
It's very cool.
collaborative
That's awesome.
version
that
of
is
an open
different.
mic. Yeah.
I get the vibe now. What you're talking about. That's cool.
Oh, it's a really good vibe.
I will tell you, I'm on the Gettysburg Bike Week committee, which while we're recording this was just a week ago. We had booked Ace Frehley last year. He fucking sucked.
Oh, that's too bad. I mean, I remember I was a Kiss Army guy when I was a kid.
Oh,
He can still
right.
he can still play,
yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
but I can't sing. But I bet I could have sung better than he did on that stage. I ain't kidding you.
Did you ever see that video of it's like Guns N' Roses or some or no Motley Crue, and he's like singing what's that song? Dr. Feelgood. And it's like you have no idea what words he's saying. He's like not even in key and stuff. He's just like really old, and it's like in a stadium. People like paid for this.
Well, let me put it this way: he cleared the third song in, half the field left. That was packed there.
Oh, wow.
They all left. It was a mess. He did us a favor. We didn't have to exit all these bikes out of the park.
Ace, you're free to leave.
Oh,
He should have. He should have left.
Oh.
And I won't even go into
All due
my other
respect.
feelings. Dave knows all too well my feelings on Ace Frehley. So
yeah. You could hear him a lot, especially when
it's
his
pretty bad.
when his manager came in. No, I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah,
but,
we'll skip that subject.
yeah, but you talk about not understanding somebody. It's the one that gets me is Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, he's
It's if you try to listen to him and understand what he says when he's talking, and then he gets behind the microphone and it's crystal clear. I said, how does that happen?
I always thought that too. That's very strange.
Yeah, that is really strange. You can understand what he's singing.
It's all those bat hits.
Yeah.
Things that
Yeah, that bat blood, right?
Oh,
So, Natalie, what are you? Is this you have any future aspirations other than what you're doing? Maybe you want to learn to brew.
I mean, could potentially, yes, like to learn to brew. I mean, on the side, like I do my own writing. I love to read.
Any
So-
novels you're getting ready to publish?
Not published. That's a step ahead. But I'm gathering information.
It's an ongoing chapter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, slowly. I feel like I'm at the gathering stage of life. So I'm sort of chilling out. I was very ambitious. I wanted to have a book published by 21, but I'm okay with taking like a little seat back and just
You
like,
can leave this chapter out if you want.
yeah. No, I mean, I do. I have met a lot of great people at Hell in a Bucket, and the music is phenomenal. I mean, I'm not a musician. I'm not like musically trained, but like it is great, and people have such a great time. I mean, Like,
All that matters.
yeah, no, just this week, like there was this one couple that came in on Saturday, and they were just on their way to get dinner. They live an hour away, and they drove an hour to get to John Wright, but they stopped by Helen a Bucket on their way to get there, and they stayed all night.
Oh, they never made
All night. They never made it to dinner, and they got trashed. And they're like, "Oh my god, this is like the greatest place ever!" Like, we did not expect like the music. We had Cody Kilburn playing, and you know he has such a beautiful voice. And like, I've never heard music like what comes through Helen Bucket. Seriously.
So, is any of the vibe that was going on there before you got? Was this your genre of music, or did it change you?
I mean, no, I never heard of the Grateful Dead or Fish or anyone. No, I definitely never heard of any of these kinds of bands, jam bands, none of that. But coming here, like, it turned me on to it so hard, and it's so much fun, and I love watching people. They have such a great time. Like, I feel like I've worked other places where I didn't feel comfortable because I felt like I was selling something I didn't believe in. But like here, like our beer is so good and the music is great and the people sort of interact with each other in a way that I've never seen happen in bars before. And it's just like friendly and easygoing and everyone's comfortable. You know, it's not
That's
like
awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, so this couple rather, they ended up staying till close and they booked a hotel a mile away, you know, because they had that good of a time that they stayed till closing time. They knew like we're not going to drive an hour home now, but they could not get over like how unexpected it was to like end up in this place, you know.
That happens a lot.
That's a
Yeah.
testimonial. You should put that. You should
Yeah.
you should write that up and put it on your site.
That's a fucking Untapped review right there.
Yeah.
No, and it happens often, you know,
That's
like
awesome.
like if people are like, oh, I want that hole in a wall spot, you know, that place that like the locals know about, and we're
Where
driving through
everybody
town.
knows your name.
This is the spot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So speaking of the spot and the great beer, we have another one sitting in front of us, and I see Jeff over there. He's anxious, like I need another beer.
This looks good. Tell us
So
about this.
yeah,
Yeah, this is Dark Star Stout. Again, a Grateful Dead song, early song from them. Dark Star, this is, it's a standard stout. It's all the flavors in this come from the grain. It's a large amount of roasted malt, so it's more than a lot of people put in their beers. But I've really always liked this, and this is one of my original homebrew recipes. It's very roasty, very malty.
and I think when I was stopped in there, maybe this is the one I got. I don't remember. Either that, or I think I told Natalie just pour whatever. I'll try it.
At the end of it, you get a little hop.
I get the roastiness right up front on the
yeah, right up front, and then it's hopped with nugget. At the very
a nugget in a stout.
nugget in a boiled nugget in it.
That's different there.
Yeah, 30-minute and 15-minute editions of and 3 pounds, not a lot.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
this,
but-
what'd you say? It's Dark Star.
Yeah, Dark Star.
So
Stout.
Dark Star Stout.
Take a break.
No, we're going to keep going.
Cheers.
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 Oh, yeah, it's good.
I do. That roastiness is right there.
Yeah, it's very roasty. I really like that flavor in it.
It's almost like a roast dark coffee note that you're getting out of that palate.
Yeah.
Got a good smooth feeling on the mouth,
Does.
and ends with that stout dry. Very good. That's a good beer.
Thank you.
I know all the traveling I've been doing, nobody has stout.
It's amazing. I think half everybody should have at least a stout.
one. At least one.
So you say you've been playing since 11 or 12. Jeff, you got no. Do you do play as well, or was this part of your business plan to have this vibe with open mic and music and stuff? Or did it develop into that?
It kind of developed into that. I mean, obviously, my partner and I are both, deadheads and really like the Grateful Dead, and so we kind of fell into that, and we listened to it all the time while we were starting. Well, he and I were just hanging out alone there, starting out brewing and doing stuff and trying to get the thing to work, and all the names started to come together that way, and it just kind of fell together. Now, the music end of it. We wanted to have live music. We started just having a little bit here and there, and then we started having a lot for a little while. And we'd have some that was good and some that wasn't. But the people who started to do, the person who started to do our Thursday night open mic night, Bjorn Jacobson, is a phenomenal player too. And he really fell into that vibe, that like jam vibe, and the people that come with started to come to his open mic also just get right, the bunches of people get right up there and start playing. We have one of the better, violin players in Lancaster County who comes and plays, and it's really great. And then Brian took over every other Thursday, and that really made it just awesome as well, because it's a whole nother sort of just jam vibe that goes on. It's really, really great.
Yeah, it was really nice also for Bjorn to have the table set for me a little bit too, because like Gary had established open mic night. There was another guy that was doing the alternate ones, and then when he jumped out, I was like, hey man, I'm all over this. So yeah,
it was funny because I was like, well, I don't know, I never heard your band or heard you play, and then and then my partner called me and he said, oh my God, Brian's incredible. It's like, what?
Oh, stop it. Just kidding, everyone. Come down and hear me.
Yeah.
New World Otters.
So what's up with the spaghetti?
Oh, my cat, Spaghetti?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big bold letters right here.
Did I mention that on the thing?
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else about me. I was like, well, what's the next thing about me? It's like, I just love my cat, Spaghetti. He's got like a neurological disorder. And so like every other month, like his back legs don't work real good. And during like the pandemic, I've been living at a place like kind of out in the woods. So we had like kind of like a pandemic concert there, right? Just friends getting together, jamming, because there was nowhere to play or nowhere to go. And I had him out like meeting people. And this was the first gig for that band. And we didn't have a name for the band or anything. And everyone's like, oh, like, what's wrong with your cat, man? And I explained it to them. And then next thing you know, we made $1,000 for him get an MRI to try to fix his problem. And then at the end of the thing, we're like, hey, what do we name this band? And someone's like, how about Spaghetti Legs? So then he became like the mascot of our band for like a good 2 years. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's doing really good right now. Yeah, he says meow.
That explains why you took to my cat Macy.
Oh yeah.
But she's got a neurological disorder too.
Right,
She's a cat.
Well,
They all have a neurological disorder.
What, being super sweet and cuddly?
She's an attention.
I know Jeff doesn't
whore.
like cats that much, but
I'm a little bit allergic to him. Not bad,
Me
but
too.
Well, that's why we kind of keep her upstairs, because if we don't, she'll be down here just looking for attention and meowing.
But animals. I love animals in general. I'm not I don't like hate cats or anything.
I think one of our first episodes, we were over at Kevin's when we started filming this, because I didn't have this all set up, and Molly came pouncing right into the picture and just plopped right on down. So we love
White
animals.
shepherd, yeah.
Yeah, we love animals. So the business plan, any expansion? Are you sticking there, or are you happy with what you got going on? And
Well, we have some plans, but I'm going to keep them to myself tonight. We are planning an expansion at some point in the not too distant future. Yeah, we want to be able to do some more canning, and we want to get a little bit bigger with our brewing system before we absolutely have to. And so I think we'll be doing something here pretty soon. You'll be hearing stuff from.
that's cool.
from us.
And what is your brewing system? How big of a system are you brewing on?
We have a 3-barrel system,
Three-barrel.
and we have room for 3 fermenters. So we cycle through 3 fermenters, and it makes it difficult to do lagers. We might lager in the winter once if things are slow enough that I can keep a tank, for 6 weeks or something, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard. So we're mostly, like I say, doing ales and Kolsch, for example. We'll do a Kolsch, so it's an ale, and we just did a steam or a California Common, which we probably have. That's a really interesting beer. That's a version of a lager, right? I mean, but done at ale temperatures,
Right.
Kind of a fun beer. No, not a lot of places do it. That's where Brian's pushed us out of our comfort zone. That's named "Dancing Through the Steam," which is a Fish lyric. So it's not a Grateful Dead name.
we also have a couple Zappa ones too.
We do, yeah. We're making Disco Boy hopefully this next week or maybe the week after that, which is our Belgian double, and then we made Strictly from Commercial, which was an Imperial Stout. Those are both Zappa song references. So we branch out.
I know people have said they have problems naming beers. Sometimes they come to you, but it sounds like you guys have no problem with that.
It's one of the cool things about doing it that way. There's so many weird little nuggets of fun stuff in lyrics and in song names. It makes it relatively easy.
That's like, I think my wife said that I'd like to have that job naming beers. So we did a kit cider for her, a peach and mango. And then I did that English IPA. I'm like, okay, hon, let's name some I'm like, you wanted this job, now let's name this stuff. I think when we were trying to name the English IPA, she was perusing Facebook or Google, and I'm like, and I go to Untap. Nope, there's like 12 of them.
Yeah.
Something else.
Well, and we've some of ours have been used too. I mean, it happens,
You haven't gotten any orders to not use that name, like a couple of the brewers that we've interviewed. They've got some cease and desist orders. Hey, you can't use that name.
It's like, well, wait, no one's ever going to get it in Denver.
Well, but there's one I can think of that's kind of nearby that's ahead of us at the size of their brewery, obviously, but
Definitely. There's a couple. There's a couple. I mean, I think that are out there that definitely we've named, but that's, again, no one's yelled at us. So,
Yeah.
You'd mentioned Denver. I was just out there and heard nothing but good stuff about beer.
oh, yeah.
Two nights in a row, it was like all skunked. The IPA was like burnt tire.
Oh, you did tell me that.
They
Yeah.
had a,
That's too bad.
They had a stout, and I don't know if it could have been any worse. And I did the same thing. I put them in my Untap, but gave them all no ratings.
I mean, and stouts are pretty unforgiving. I mean, you can,
I did a golden stout once. It was a kit beer.
that's tricky.
It got way over carbonated, and so I stuck it up in the garage during the winter to help cool it off to see it. And then I forgot it was out in the garage, and spring came along, so I had a bunch of bottle bombs.
Nice.
But
I've never done a golden stout. I've been thinking about that.
yeah, but the English IPA, and you had mentioned some of these old styles are coming back.
Yeah.
Stuff you haven't seen in a while. They're starting to make a comeback, and hopefully, it cycles around. But speaking of beer,
Oh, yeah.
we got another one sitting here.
Yeah. This is Hazy Lightning. This is named after Lazy Lightning, which is a Grateful Dead song. And this is our super, and it's just mildly hazy. This is a no boil beer.
No boil beer.
Didn't boil it. Took it up to 180. Whirlpooled it with Centennial, and then Citra Incognito, which is a hop extract. And then in the dry hop, it's Mosaic Cryo and Mosaic Flex, which is another dry hop. It's an extract. So it's got probably the equivalent of 9 barrels or so of hop in there.
Wow.
Or 9 pounds a barrel of hop in there. And it's 9%? 9%.
I did see that.
9.3, I think.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hazy Lightning.
Hazy Lightning.
A no boil IPA.
Don't want to get any of that bitterness in there. Want it to be all fruity
What
all
is
the
that
time.
initial one? Whatever that initial taste is, I like that.
That's the kind of pineapple-y taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that Mosaic Flex.
Really?
And the Mosaic, yeah.
And I think
Dry
we've
hop.
said this the last couple recordings that we've done. We're slowly learning each hop, what they bring, what flavors bring, if it's a piney note, if it's a grapefruit, or if it's a pineapple or mint. We're learning that, and every one of those hops have a different thing to the party.
Yeah, and especially in the dry hop, you get all that really interesting fruitiness that comes out of it. You don't get, and you don't get any alpha acid conversion or anything like that if you keep it below 200 degrees. So that's really kind of the key. You don't get any of the bitterness.
So I think you mentioned at the beginning you're more of a scientist at this. So
I'm a chemist.
So you're
By training.
So that kind of plays a different role in brewing.
Yeah.
You kind of understand stuff going before you even go into it. That what can I do with this, or was it a learning process as well?
Well, it was a learning process as well, but again, over a long period of time. I mean, so I've learned a lot about the chemistry of brewing and a lot about the science behind it, and and I take it relatively scientifically. I think about it, what's my water going into it? We're fortunate in Wrightsville. We have pretty good water, actually. It's very clean, pretty crisp. The only thing about it I don't like is that its pH is a little low. It's a little too acidic or a little too basic, a little high. Yeah, and so I'll acidify things a little bit, and that's about all I ever have to do to it. We filter it through carbon to get rid of the chloramine and chlorine.
Interesting, because the ones with the background always go to the.
Yeah, I mean, when we recorded with Derek Wolf, it was
critical.
like right off the bat talking about parts per million, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
Water filtration systems.
over my head.
we don't build it from the ground up, so I don't have a reverse osmosis system or anything like that. I think the charcoal filter really great. You know, it pops out all the flavors. You get rid of all the chlorine, so you don't get any off flavors from your hops. And you know,
Who else did that? Oh, Mark from Dover Brewing.
Mark,
They did that.
yeah.
And basically it was just a charcoal PVC with a charcoal filter in it, and they ran their hose through it.
it works perfectly well. I mean, ours is a little high in sulfate, which is good because that allows you to get a little bit more hop character out of beers. I mean, I think there are places that will add sulfate if they don't have any.
Yeah,
You know, and I don't need to. I mean,
yeah,
it's good.
The brewing we're doing is just a 5-gallon batch in a Bruzilla.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy spring water.
Yeah.
I'm not using house water because we have a lot of limestone here in Dover.
Yeah, it could be. That
And
could
some
make it a little
chlorine in
bit
it.
basic. And the chlorine, you got to get rid of that.
I'm not getting my water tested. I'm not getting a reverse osmosis system, and I'm not going through all that bullshit.
That's expensive.
I'm just doing it for the fun. To get 5 gallons of beer on tap, which sometimes goes too quick when you got neighbors.
I don't know. Do you have a favorite, Natalie? Of the beers?
I started with loving like the IPA styles, but I lately have branched off into like I love the Dark Star style.
Nice.
Love. Like it's so good. Love the Dark Star stout. And even the Belgian style, which and the Casey Jones, easy, you know, the Kolsch.
I hate to go on record, but I'm an IPA guy. Right.
Yeah. So, were you always a beer drinker, Natalie, till you started working there, or not? I could see you as a cocktail mixed drink.
No, honestly, no, I was definitely not a beer drinker until I came here, and it's definitely turned me on to beer, and I will drink like nothing else now.
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
awesome. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, and Dave asked you this before. Like in New York City, when you were there, the craft industry was not popular up there yet? You were still serving the mass production stuff, or was it popular?
No, I mean I don't really remember selling like local or craft brews. It was definitely like a lot of cocktails and a lot of Budweiser, Heineken, Stella. Yeah,
So
basic stuff.
The big mass stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you came here and you went to hell in a bucket. Now you've been introduced to a whole different world.
Yeah, no,
It works on a lot of levels. It does.
no, definitely now. Like I definitely buy local craft brew.
Yep.
Like from now on.
I don't even drink. Now I do. I will lie. I mean, there's Yingling on tap on my second tap up there because of my party. I'm putting the Yingling on it. And they still didn't kick it. I only got a quarter keg, and they still didn't kick my beer.
Yeah, but what they did was they kicked the beer.
They kicked my good shit.
They kicked the keg
Yeah,
that we didn't want them to kick. we even put caps on it and says "Do not drink poison."
Yeah. So,
And they still drank it.
even if I go out, I'm looking for even if I'm not in this area and I go to a restaurant, I'm looking for, what do you have local on tap?
Yep.
Just for instance, I was up at New Oxford here for a ride on Saturday for a benefit for veterans. And I said, I'll try one of your hazy craft. They hand me a Sam Adams.
Oh, a craft.
Well, that's what Yingling is around the West Coast.
I guess Sam is still considered a craft. I don't know, but they're in cahoots with. I mean, they own Dogfish Head,
They actually change the definition of craft beer, I think, every year to make it so they still fit.
micro, macro,
Because they're huge. I mean, it's a huge
Yeah.
brewery.
Yeah.
I think it goes up. So craft is like, oh, it's only, it's now like less than 25 million barrels
Yeah.
or something crazy.
Like have you been to the Dogfish Head down in Delaware?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge facility.
That's a beautiful facility. Yeah, it's
All
like
those
Trogs.
silos
I mean, it's
outside,
big.
and
it's nice.
same with Trogs.
Yeah, they're both really, but again, good. I mean, Trogs is obviously still independent, and then they're they're great.
And I think
love them.
that's where you got to say it's not a craft brewery; it's an independent brewery.
Right. They're big. They still
big.
do craft. I mean, they go in there. There's scratch beers on.
Yeah, what do they call their special releases?
Scratch.
Is it Scratch?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of the Evergreen has one too, Search and Development or something.
Yeah. I'll give both those breweries a shout out. They're good. I mean, those guys do good beer. I mean,
Yep. South County has a Scratch series as well. There's another one that went buku big.
Yeah, really big. Yeah.
But yeah, I just enjoy this, and I think he's all touched on it. The community involvement and being a part of something that is quaint, small. If you have a problem, you can reach out to other brewers. You're finding it with the patrons that come in. It's a different vibe, as you say. and we've mentioned this many times. The craft pubs are a lot different atmosphere than what it was when I grew up going to a bar. It's a different atmosphere. You got local musicians, jam sessions. You got a more quaint atmosphere where you can get personable.
Yeah.
And truthfully, you're selling product.
Yeah.
And that's part of your job description. You know, you need to know what it is. And you kind of got to read your customer base. Hey, what do you like? And then, hey, I'm going to recommend this. So your job is just as important as his job is, and Brian's job. It takes a team effort to make a business run.
It's all of us. It's critically important. Everybody's important to it.
Yeah.
It's great to have
every
such good
cog in the
people.
wheel has something to do, and it makes it go round. So I kudos to all three of you, and your partner Matt that's not with us. So kudos.
Yeah. It takes all of us, and it's great to have found such great people that want to stay with us, and make it grow and work it as we've especially coming out of the pandemic. I mean, my gosh, what a mess. That's
and I did notice that you mentioned that survived the pandemic. What else to say?
yeah.
I saw that too.
What did you mean by that? Did you what was
We opened on December 20th, 2019. So
and then the pandemic hit in March.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like March 16th was my birthday, and that's when everything closed. I was like, man, I haven't been kicked out of every bar in the state ever on my birthday.
Wow.
So you're a March baby too.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, it was weird.
March babies are the best.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Aries, don't
I
fuck
like
with
it.
us. I'm telling you, don't fuck with an Aries, man.
I still enjoy May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. That's your birthday, isn't
That's
it?
my birthday.
Nice.
Should I go
Stop.
get
Right
No,
there.
should I go
Stop.
get my Kilo Ren helmet up there?
Oh no! I was waiting for the old joke.
And
The old
Grace-
jokes.
Grayson must have got the
Yeah, he
the
probably pulled them
lightsabers.
down. Yeah.
So we did a couple May the 4th episodes, and I put the Kilo Ren, and I had my grandson's lightsaber here. So.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
bullshitting you with his life.
Yeah, I'm a big.
I'm a Star Wars geek, man. What can I say?
Yeah,
I love
I'm a
Star
big
Wars.
sci-fi geek. I really like sci-fi. That's my thing. So
That's cool.
I'm Star Wars. He's
Bond
nice.
well, you like Star Trek
Star Trek. and Bond.
and Bond.
Yeah, Bond.
I'm a big
James
drinker. I don't turn the TV on.
Yeah.
What's that? You're a what?
I just drink. I don't turn the TV on.
Yeah, you don't turn the TV
Sitting
on.
there in silence.
Yeah.
Speaking of, does anybody watch sports? Anybody have favorite sports that you watch or not?
I don't really ever watch sports. Now, I will say that we've started doing a little bit of sports in the bar because there's people who really like it. I'm a big fan of trying to spend any time I have that I can get out and about, going out and about and doing something like riding my bike or
Right.
walking or
Yeah.
hiking. Because if I didn't, I'd weigh 400 pounds instead of merely 230.
While I recognize Jeff's observation that it is kind of like a big distraction, and the older I get, I don't know, but Pittsburgh Steelers all the way, Penn State
Yes.
Indy Lions,
There we go.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Penguins, Baltimore Orioles, only because
And
when I was a
they-
kid, my uncle would take me to like Pirates games, and they would like lose to the Expos. And then we would go to Camden Yards, and it was like Cal Ripken Jr. So
Yeah,
like that stuck with me. So I go
Did you
Orioles.
misspeak? You meant to say the Mets?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly
better than
happy
the
to watch
Yankees,
some
I
sports
guess.
when I'm at the bar doing my thing. I mean, because we usually listen to music anyway, and just kind of have it on in the background to
Yeah,
watch.
usually just NFL usually
and
just
good
takes
NFL
over a little bit.
and good football. I mean, you can. It's one of those things you can just like look at it for 10 minutes or 3 or 4, and and then go away, and it doesn't really matter if you're not into it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a big football fan, other than Penn State football. I live, bleed.
He does like his Penn State football.
And Dave and I have arguments a lot.
Yeah,
being
that's
Pitt and Penn State. So,
yeah.
baseball, it's my sport. I love baseball. I'm a Yankee fan, and they suck this year. I'm grateful for the Orioles finally doing something with what they got.
Yeah.
They are doing really well. They're only a game behind the Rays at this
Right.
time.
Yeah,
Matt-
it's been a long time for them.
Yes,
Yeah.
it has been a long time.
Matt, my partner's a gigantic Cubs fan, so I have to give a shout out there. He
right.
took me to a Cubs game one time. It was really great.
I want to get to Wrigley Field.
That's a great place, really cool place. We saw a game where it was fascinating. It was the St. Louis Cardinals got up by 5, and the Cubs came back and won 9-5 in the 8th inning.
How
It
recent
was awesome.
This?
It was
that during their World Series run?
No, it wasn't in the World Series. It was like 2000. 3 or 2 or
All
something.
right, so it was way before their World
Yeah,
Series.
yeah.
run.
Yeah,
That was Moises Alou and stuff like that was on the Cubs. Yeah.
And we had really good seats too. They were Chicago Tribune box.
Oh wow, that's
Well,
really
Kevin,
good.
aren't you trying to visit every stadium?
Yeah, that's cool.
Him and his son is
So-
on a trek to visit
Yeah.
every stadium.
It's not working out so well with Ben, but Cindy
Yeah,
seems to be
he's
traveling
busy.
with me, so I've been going with Cindy. So
There you go.
it's kind of tough. So I'm going to hit every stadium
You
probably
hit
twice.
but yeah, you hit
At
every
least.
one, but it won't be with the same
Yeah.
family member. It'll be with 2 family members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love sports. I don't like football, but I'm not going to sit down and engage myself for hours just watching a game. I will catch it if I can.
Well,
but-
did you know that over the course of 3 hours, there's actually 6 minutes of them actually playing football?
Yep.
Because the clock keeps running, and then they run back and they stand around and they talk about it for 5 minutes.
And the last 2 minutes are the longest of the game.
Yeah, always.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but
Yeah, so before we get to Natalie here on that, we do have another beer here.
Yeah.
Which one's this one?
That's the Big Boss Man Belgian Blonde Strong.
Oh.
10%.
Oh, we're finishing out this section with some strong stuff going on.
I use so in my Belgians, I never really brewed them much, and my partner really loves them. And so I use all Belgian ingredients. So I use malts from Belgium. We get, you can get them here in the U.S. of course, and then I get one-off yeasts for all of them. So they're all different yeasts, so that way they taste subtly different, and I really like that. It's expensive, but it's the way to do it.
Yeah, and this is the Big Boss Man. So cheers to the Big
Cheers.
Boss Man.
Cheers.
And you can tell it's a Belgian by the look and the smell.
Yeah, nice ester flavors, really nice, like banana flavors and stuff.
Yeah, I love the
So
taste.
good.
That is good.
Oh, wow.
The smell, though,
I really like this. This is
I'm
good.
not sure.
I was never into Belgians. I thought they were disgusting.
I love the taste.
I didn't like them at all. Big IPA guy.
Was
all
it the
time.
banana that you didn't like out of it, or
I
the clove?
couldn't tell you, but all I know is that ever since working with Jeff and drinking his Belgians and the stuff that we use in them just seems like real natural and clean. I don't know. I've been sold on Belgians since working there by far. I think it's some of the best stuff that we do.
I think, yeah, and people have tried Belgians. I think early on this venture of ours, Tim March at Stony Run had a Belgian Quad that was just out of this world. And that was one of the first Belgians I fell in love with.
Yeah, I like that beer. I've had that. I had that one.
I've really become a fan of Belgians, and when they become barrel aged or stronger, like this is a strong ale, this hits that sweetness of that banana right at the front, and it just lingers till the back end.
Yeah, thank you.
So very good, awesome job.
Lightly hopped Fuggle and Styrian Silesia.
I have to bring by another 6-pack of that Cherry Duchesse.
No, fucking please do not. That is one beer. When we say 3.5 is usually our lowest, that was probably a 2.
Mine is 7.
And I was being generous that night. It was supposed to taste like a chocolate cherry cordial. And would you call that one IPA ass?
Yeah, burnt tire.
It tasted like burnt ass. It was pretty
Sam
bad.
Adams put out a variety pack. It was like a 12-pack of a bunch of attempts at IPAs, mostly hazy, summery IPAs.
Right,
And there was a tropical IPA. First beer I ever poured out. It was like drinking suntan lotion, And I was like, man,
Coconut.
Sam Adams. Yeah, but they some
I
of
love
them
it.
they're kind of hazy. They have is that them with the Wicked Hazy? I think.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one.
it was
That's what they called a craft beer, Bourbon Mill. They gave me a Wicked Hazy.
It was their Wicked Hazy line. So it was that plus a couple other sort of similar.
some banana boat squeezed in there.
It had to have been. It was not happy times. Yeah. That's one of like I said, the only beer I've poured out in probably my whole life. And then there's another one just sitting in my basement. Just sitting on a counter, just to commemorate.
Maybe
hey, where's
it'll
beer
get better with age.
Yeah, maybe. I should give it a try.
We did a podcast with someone, I don't remember who it is actually, I said right on camera whenever they asked me about the beer, and I said, what do you think of this? And I says, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to drink a whole one of these. And I said, I'm having a tough time choking this one down. And I said, but I was honest. I mean, that was a whole thing.
And that was one thing we had talked about is, I think, Dave, you were worried about, well, what if we don't like the beer? Just be honest about it.
Yeah, no, I want to hear that.
Yeah. You want to hear?
I got a 5 for all of these. I'm pretty
It's like a Google review. If you get everything 5.0, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, this one is the best one. So
Yeah, let's
this
not
is
get
really
it
good. I
confused
like
when we're
this.
talking
I
about.
like
you.
this.
It's a damn shame because I'm
awesome.
sitting here quenching more of that right now.
Yeah.
So, Natalie, we didn't get to touch with you. Any sports that you watch?
Actually, no.
You don't watch any sports? You don't follow anything?
Matt asked her what her favorite football team was the other day, and I'm back there
No.
going Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes.
No,
She has
like
no
my
idea.
my mom studied like philosophy. My dad was an artist, so like there were no sports in my household growing up. So I feel
That's cool. That's unusual.
No,
Natalie's a
no
skater.
kind of way, but I mean,
Skateboarder.
Yeah, well,
Skateboard.
Really?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
the skateboarder.
there you go.
Skateboarder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's like my newest thing. I used to be like a long distance runner.
Runner, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm sort of transitioning. Yeah.
Natalie's a
gotten-
doer. She does stuff.
You've gotten
instead
really
of watching
good in the
stuff.
last
I
like
need a
year
new
and a
partner.
half.
I need a new partner.
Well, I tell you what, when we had Something Wicked on, they're both skater dudes. We'll have to hook you up with Something Wicked guys. They love skateboarding. Up there out of Hanover.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Wicked Brewing?
Something
Yeah.
Wicked.
Something
Wicked. Out of Hanover.
Yeah.
They're both skater dudes. The two
That's
that we had
cool.
at Josh and John.
Yeah. Do you do the what they call it the half pipe and
So there's vert and then there's street skating. I consider myself more of like a street skater.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to like get into the vert stuff, but
All right.
learning
you
how to.
do you go down the steps straddling
exactly.
the rails and
Exactly, like
Oh, okay, all right,
rails
all
and
right.
like ollies, stuff like that.
She can do like the
Right.
kick flippy
Wow.
stuff. Like I always see
Yeah.
people skating, and I never see them land them. But she can actually do it.
Yeah, the one I see, that's the scary one. This is when they go up on the handrail and slide down the hand. How are you doing that?
No, it's absolutely nuts.
That's nuts.
So I love it.
And
I
yeah.
love it.
That's
for
what
that
you're going to
reason.
hit if you miss.
Yeah,
Yep.
or do a face plant in the concrete.
Yeah.
That's not healthy either.
I mean, that's the risk. That's the
Yeah.
risk, and that's the reward.
Yeah.
I think I tried skateboarding once. I ain't doing that
I
again.
can't get you to do anything. You don't run. You don't do
I will run. I told you to the end of my driveway,
to the car to get it back.
and then I wave as you go by. So I do not run, no, but I do play racquetball once a week.
You do.
That's
I've
good.
been off the
Cool.
court. I've been
That's
off the
right.
court
You
about
do
6
play a
months.
lot
I like
of
that. Though.
racquetball.
I was a volleyball player. Like I
Volleyball?
like the lateral movement. I don't want to run forever. Like playing soccer as a kid. It was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? We're just chasing this ball around. I can't do it anymore. I was sick of it. At least and in football, I played football too. So it's like like
got
I was
that
saying
break?
earlier. Yeah, you get that little break. And you get to run into a guy, and then maybe I don't know, get tackled, and then I don't know. But like just running constantly is not my deal. I can't figure out. I got to do something. I got to get my cardio up. I've been drinking too much of these hazy lightnings and stuff.
Oh my!
We did swim the other day.
Yeah, we did. We swam in the river. Yeah,
Swam in
There you go.
Yeah.
Like a poker run event.
yeah. We had
Yeah.
a team building experience on a poker run.
Oh.
It was-
Oh, tell us a little bit about this poker run team builder. That sounds interesting.
It wasn't really designed to be a team building experience, but last year we started doing it, and so we had a boat we sponsored in the long level poker run, and so we went out on the boat and got poker hands, and Brian almost had the worst poker hand and would have won a prize, but his sister beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about we lamented together on our horrible inadequacy, and that she's worse than me, even though she gets $250 and I don't. So it's the one time I wish I was worse.
But it's fun, and it's we go out, we sport our tie dyes, and we hand out
got
beer. So we
samples,
gave a
yeah.
bunch of people a case
I'll
of
bet you
Jones
guys
and-
were all popular that day, weren't
Yeah,
you?
sure. Yeah.
I have to be honest with you. I haven't heard that word in a lot of years. Tie dye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to remember tie dye. Never mind. But anyway,
I have vague memories of seeing tie dyes.
yeah, I remember.
around.
I remember doing it. We used to do it. We used
Yeah,
to
I've
take
done-
old T-shirts and
There's actually a
You,
guy.
you know what it was,
I've
Dave?
done
It
it.
was that purple haze. You don't remember?
yeah, that's it. It's a purple haze.
Dave, there's
vaguely
actually a
remember
guy
that.
Go across the street and a block over, and he has this clothesline that he every summer he'll put like 30 or 40 shirts out there.
You're doing tie dyes.
Yep.
So
Really?
I'll give a shout
That's
out
a
to
walk.
this. So
There's a market for them at the concerts and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you go to see
Yeah.
like Dead and Company or like Fish or some of these like
Yeah.
hippie jam bands, or they have these big festivals, and
Yeah.
tie dye is not old anymore.
Everything
You know,
is
it's
just
Yeah,
niche,
so-
I guess.
Tie-dye's not,
So these
tie-dye's not dead.
This
Yeah.
this shirt right here, you know, we get these from an old friend of ours in Iowa City, and she makes them by hand. So every single one is done
Different.
is unique and different. Yeah, you know, so it's cool because I get to pick of the nicest ones because when they come in, but and I only have a
That's a
couple.
perk. That's a
It
perk of
is a
being a
perk,
business owner.
but she's Audrey Easton's her name, and she's incredible. She's an incredible artist and a school teacher, and just it's great. She's yeah, good.
It fits the vibe, as you guys have put it.
Absolutely.
It fits your vibe. Like I said, when I stopped down there, it was a relaxing, cool atmosphere. But until we sat here and talked about it, that was the word I was missing. There was a vibe about your joint down there in Wrightsville, and it's a cool, relaxed vibe.
I just have one important question. Why was Dave and I invited?
I was coming home from somewhere.
Sounds like an excuse.
Actually, I knew where I was coming home from. It was Mad Chef because I think the next
That's right.
beer we're going to try, I think Brian was trying to get me to try it, and I'm like, no, I better lay off of that.
That
I
was-
still have to drive.
That was
home.
before it was bourbon barrel aged too.
Oh,
so,
man.
yeah.
So now it's even stronger.
A little bit stronger.
But you're at home, so that's cool.
Yeah, I don't have to get. I don't have far to drive. So I tell you what, we've had a great time. Anything got planned coming up? I mean, when this episode is going to be released is probably in September. Or, no, it's next month, August. Anything coming up in the fall? Over the winter months, you guys got coming up? Plans, festivals,
I mean,
jam sessions?
Well, we have a. Go ahead.
we'll be at the what was that? It's called Senstoberfest in Harrisburg at the ballpark there. They have like a big beer tasting kind of
Okay.
function, and we went there last year, and it was really cool. I guess other than that, just weekly music. The open mic night is on Thursdays. People want to come jam.
We have a Sunday Fun Day coming up August 13th, which is when we call it that because we actually get in there and make some food. We usually don't have very much food because we removed our kitchen to put the brewery in. And so, we always have pulled pork sandwiches and my secret chili recipe. So we have chili but on those days we'll cook wings and burgers and
I'm glad you said that because when Natalie brought that story up about that couple, I was going to ask about the food. Did you have dinner for them? But I guess that answered that question.
Well, they might have had pulled pork sandwiches and stuff because people like those. I think they're
if
getting more popular.
If you hang around long enough at a bar with drinking beer, you're going to want something to
Gotta
munch on.
eat. So
Yeah.
we've tried to make it as easy as possible to have a little bit of food and not make it impossible for her to get busy and not be able to serve
Right,
anything.
yeah. You don't have any prop dogs laying around in foil.
That prop dogs.
No, COVID.
That goes
Yeah,
back
that was
to the
COVID,
back to the COVID days.
It goes back to the
Prop that.
pandemic.
Yeah,
People
right.
can bring whatever they want to eat and
Yeah, you
have
can eat
anything
in there.
delivered.
There
Like we're
you go.
not. Yeah, just
Yeah.
I
please
think
do.
that's cool.
Yeah, I like that the part about the open mic night. That's nice. I would love
You going down to the jam?
I would love to come. I would love to come jam, but I can't. And you know why?
Yeah, you got your arthritis in your hands.
I have the. Well, what's that?
No,
Oh,
I didn't say it, Dave.
I'm sorry.
But did you
I'm
hear
sorry,
what he
Dave.
said?
no, I didn't hear. What
He said you're fucking old.
Oh, is that what he said? Okay.
Dave out of that.
I
Tough crowd here.
can't play anymore. I used to play in bands for years. I played in bands, and I just and it kind of because this hand is not what it used to be, and this is your fret hand.
I get it. I get that.
Unless you're Jimi Hendrix, and this is your fret hand.
There you go. Switch it over.
Yeah, I'll say.
Ambidextrous.
I don't think I can switch my. I could turn my guitar
it'd be
upside
hard
down
to
and
do it.
restring it, but.
Like played other people's before, and it's just like
Have you tried?
different world. Yeah.
Have you tried playing a restrung guitar?
Oh yeah, that's
left-
yeah. So I have I've had friends that
Yeah.
are left-handed that
Yeah.
have done that. I'm like, oh, let me try this. It's like day
It's
one.
like you're on another planet. I mean, it's just like,
It's not even like
the gravity's
I
not
kinda
working
know
here.
what to do because I can play guitar. It's more like, oh, it's day one.
The muscles don't work
haven't
right.
even
Nothing
no
works.
begun
muscle
to
memory.
walk.
Yeah.
You know. So,
You could just start doing that air.
Yeah, you could do air guitar.
Oh my! I've had a blast.
Good. Yeah, it's been fun. I've had a good time too.
Any last thing you want to let us know? Hours of operation, anything like that, Jeff?
Well, we're open, 5 to 10 on Tuesday through Friday, and 11 to 10 on Saturday, and 11 to 9 on Sundays. We're right. Yeah.
Come see New World Otters. I guess
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
13th,
The 13th of August.
and the 26th.
Yeah, and that's the the beginning of our Mug Club sign up week
Mug
too.
Club?
so-
That's
I was
cool.
just going to ask about
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That was-
Any last comments, Natalie? Have you had fun?
I've had tremendous fun.
Were you nervous coming in here?
I wouldn't say so. No.
Okay. I didn't get that. I mean, your persona had a different vibe.
No. Yes, maybe late is a word, but no, absolutely not uncomfortable. No.
That's cool.
I've had a great time. I've had a great time building this and doing it too, and
I
getting
can
better
tell.
at brewing. But it's these guys.
Yeah.
They're the
I
ones.
can tell.
They're the ones that make it work.
I can tell just by our conversation here this
Pretty clear.
evening that you're enjoying what you're doing and you're enjoying watching your staff grow and make your business grow.
Absolutely.
And like I said, every cog in that wheel has a part to play.
And it's it's fun for me. I mean, I work a lot, and and I say that in tongue in cheek, but I do. I probably put in a little more than 50 hours a week, probably in my job. Doing
And then
doing
on
stuff.
top of that,
and
this.
then I go and spend an entire day usually playing with these guys and trying to help Brian, or not getting Brian's way while he brews beers, and helping him learn how to design new beers, and watching Natalie do what she does, which is incredible. I mean, she could. I don't think we could get too busy for her to handle the bar. I mean, there's no way. And it's just it's great. It's great hanging out and doing the things we do.
Kevin, any last comments?
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I think this is one of my favorites. Beer was better than
The Belgian Quad.
when we started
We're
off with
getting
those IPAs. I just like,
Jeff's
I don't know
anxious.
about tonight, but I'm telling you what, it's
Dave, any last comments?
No, this was really good. I enjoyed this. I know that the beers that I've drunk here.
Would you say you're drunk?
you're drunk.
Yeah, I'm drunk. I can't finish the one that I brought. because
Okay, that's just the Yingling. We can dump,
Yeah,
we can do what Brian did. We can dump that.
Clean,
we
out,
could
clean out the gutter.
we can dump that one.
And that actually used to be a go-to of mine, but
Yeah.
I've had a tremendous time. You guys are on social media, Hell in a Bucket Brewing.
Yep, hellobucketbrewing.com, and we're on social media on Instagram and Facebook. I think we're on Instagram now. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I found. So, and it's going to be plastered on here, and I'll show you what we got going on. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Give us a like and share at Central PA Pour on all our social media platforms, including TikTok. That's your department, Mr. Kevin. Have you done anything on TikTok?
No, I'm doing a terrible job. I'm never home anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can still do TikTok
I
wherever you're at.
I guess. Hey,
Wow.
And wherever you get your listing platforms. And make sure you check out our merch store. That helps us recoup some of the costs we got sitting in our studio sitting here. And I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think of our little in-house studio?
It's nice.
I think it's pretty rad. I
Yeah.
think you got a cool operation down here.
Definitely.
Like it?
I like what you're doing.
What did you think when I said about coming to our studio? A couple mics and that was it. And
I mean, I don't know, because I actually did check out some of the stuff on
So you've
YouTube
seen
and
some of
stuff,
our
so,
episodes?
Yeah, take
Yeah.
a little peek. I saw, like I said, mentioned it earlier, I think before we were rolling, but our friend Mike from Starview was on. So I was like, it's a good opportunity to check it out. So I was like,
yeah,
looks
we've
pretty
had
awesome.
we've had a couple guests like I've seen it, but this looks so much different when you're in person. So
no,
We
we're
do.
glad you guys came. It was
yeah,
nice.
this is awesome.
We do a good job of hiding all of this.
Which
You
it's
can't see
cool,
it on
right?
camera.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
You
it's,
can't see it on
The
camera.
problem is we're not doing a good job of hiding all of this.
You should hide this right here.
I got the face for radio. So we got one more beer before we cheers out here. What is going to be our final beer here?
Dianetasis.
This is Calliope Whale, Belgian Blonde Strong. And Calliope Whale is actually a line in a Grateful Dead song. So it's pretty obscure. So that when people come in and they know this, I'm like, okay.
You know they're a deadhead.
They really
right?
know it. Yeah.
You said Belgian Blonde Strong, but you
I
meant
mean,
Belgian Quad.
It's a Belgian Quad. I apologize. Yeah. So nice and dark and rich. It went in. It's a 12.8%. Oh, it was aged in bourbon barrel for about 9 months.
This
So what barrel was it in?
It was in a standard bourbon barrel. I want to say it's not. I know what's the.
Is
what
it a local one?
What was it?
You said it the other day.
I did, and I can't remember now. No, it's not
Dad's
local.
something.
It's Dad's Hat.
Dad's Hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this smells so delicious. So,
very
so
good.
if you're out there, let's raise a glass with Jeff, Natalie, and Brian from Hell in a Bucket Brewing in Wrightsville and the CPP. And I don't care what you're in your glass. I wish it was this because
Absolutely.
if you had smell-o-vision, this would be fucking awesome. But anyways, let's raise a glass, and it's all be bonded by beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.